Come join us as we make contact with the cosmos at the first annual Michigan UFO Contact Convention in Houghton Lake, Michigan at the Lakeside Resort and Conference Center on September 22nd, 2018. Join us as we encounter the likes of Nick Redfern, Erica Lukes, John Tenney, Bill Konkolensky, Steve Ward, and Andrea Perrin, who will be singing in our space family to come join us. Enjoy the many vendors, healers, psychics, for all your paranormal and metaphysical desires. Tickets are on sale at Michigan UFO Con, Ticketleap.com. The mothership doors open at 10 a.m. Saturday, September 22nd, 2018. Come be a part of this amazing journey and help us get one step closer to full disclosure. This event is sponsored by Deb and Erica DeRoos of
You are listening to featured programming on the Mystical Awakenings Network. This show is for entertainment purposes only. The hosts of this show are not medical professionals, lawyers, or counselors. Following any advice from anyone on this show, including our guests, is at your own risk, and the host, guests, or Mystical Awakenings LLC will not be held responsible.
Hello, and welcome to Chambers of the Paranormal. It's Sunday night, and...
Is it Sunday night?
Yeah.
My mic's still not right.
Okay, we'll let you mess with that for a second.
Okay.
Let's see. I'm your host, Paul.
Really?
My co-host, Mist.
I missed? Really?
Yeah, you're Mist. Oh, yeah, we look so much better on your monitor than that one. I'm going to have to feed that to something better eventually.
Well, possibly. Right.
But,
there we go.
We said, yes, it is Sunday night, so we kind of have an announcement.
Yes, we do. My other show that I'm on, Paranormal X, on Thursday nights, will be going down to once a month on Monday nights at 7 p.m. Daniel and I have to decide which Monday of the month we want to go because there will be another show starting up on the Mystical Awakenings Radio Network on Monday nights. They're also going to be once a month. But we just have such busy lives. And with Daniel having, a grown son, a son who just finished driver's education, has a job, another son, and then Stephanie's daughter. They have a really busy life. So
they are what you would call soccer parents.
It's
but
soccer, softball.
Soccer, softball. Then you said there's concerts in the fall. So, his work schedule has been very erratic and very heavy. So.
Yes. So for the time being, this Thursday is going to be our last Thursday night show. And then, once we decide what date we'll go with for once a month, we'll go with that on Mondays. But I took the opportunity and, hey, we are moving to Thursday nights at 7 p.m.
Yep, we'll be on Thursday nights from now on. Yeah. So we won't be on next Sunday probably.
No, we're not going to be on next Sunday, but we'll start up that Thursday.
Yep, and it'll be posted and that on the Facebook page, so that way everybody gets the notification.
Yes.
But so yeah, it's kind of exciting. It'll be a middle of the week, and hey, that's my get up at 2:30 in the morning weekday too. But hey, I can do it.
It just means that we need to make sure that you get a good nap in with the switch to go into Thursday nights. But it also gives us the opportunity with the events we go to, like Michigan Paracon, when we go down to our friends downstate. We're not rushing to get home on Sundays.
No.
So you can go back to work on Monday morning. Right.
And Larry just joined. So what we were just talking about real quick, Larry, is that we are going to be moving to Thursday nights. This other show is final episode is this coming Thursday, and we will be on starting the following Thursday.
Yes. So in 2 weeks, we will be on 2 weeks. 2 weeks. 20 years. Hold on. 20 years.
I love you. I have to.
What?
Well, who else would put up with this?
I don't know.
So tonight was just open discussion because,
my brain is like completely frazzled, but
Yeah, so I invited everybody to the show as usual this week, and I also said to throw stuff out if they wanted to in the chat rooms, but hey, we only got Larry. Not a complaint, Larry, but right now it's just you. Nobody else in the other chat room or on Blog Talk listening in there.
So it gives us a nice segue because, you know, a lot of the times we do just kind of ramble a little bit at the beginning of the shows. But, you know, I do want to shout out, because this is Facebook Live, we are fostering my sister's kittens.
Yeah.
Little bit of potty issue right now, but we had that with our kittens, Callie and Smudge. But you know, they're amazing, great cats. Other than, you know, having to teach one of them how to use the litter box, the other one's great.
Yes.
But there are still 2 kittens available, and then I think there's 4 or 5 that will be available in a few weeks if anybody wants a kitten.
Nothing like, you know, we usually give, you know, plugs into other shows and things or other events, but plugging, giving away kittens. Yes,
plugging, giving away kittens.
Hey, Vince, welcome to Facebook Live.
Hi. But that's one of the reasons why my brain's frazzled. But you know, plus somebody keeps harping on me on how quickly June and July will go.
Yeah, because we're already into the 3rd day of June.
Yes, so
and somebody needs to get that stuff done.
Well, you know, I've gotten quite a bit done on several of them over the last 3 days.
Yeah, you have. You've actually been working very hard on these for the last week almost.
Yeah, I got 2 done last week, and I've got 1 close to being done. 2 are extremely, extremely difficult to finish. The 3rd one, not the 3rd one. The other one, I have to find the eyes.
I was going to say, that's the one you misplaced the eyes on.
Yeah, I misplaced the eyes.
Just since Vince is in here, you know, and he wrote hi guys in there. I won't go into details, but when the show first started, you know, we were talking and he mentioned that he, hit my microphone, you know, had an experience at his house, you know, with with
the paranormal.
Right, with the paranormal, thank you. Since then, had another friend who sent a video of something that happened at their son's house. And we looked at it and still can't really come up with an explanation because of lack of a shadow from where it's coming in at. And then just 2 days ago, another friend sent me an audio clip.
Yes.
That they'd left their phone on and record, and just because it's an old house, it's not in our, not in the state of Michigan. Hint, hint. If anybody knows where that might be, down south.
Well, I'm gonna guess, because right now all of our listeners are friends of yours.
Yeah, that's Debbie. She is my age almost, and she went to everywhere from grade school on up with me through that.
I'm sorry.
She's saying that to you, Debbie, not me. But you know, she sent that to it. I still didn't get a chance to listen to it today because I've been playing with electronics all day. Still having a few issues with my computer, trying to get it all tweaked out. But so it's just kind of nice that friends are opening up and telling me about experiences they have or are having, and that you know, one of them's actually sought help because, and haven't followed up on it, but I haven't heard anything back from the second one. So
yeah, well, and that's the thing that we do say quite a bit about. I just saw that. They're gone now.
Yeah. Hey, but you don't have to worry about those kind. Honestly.
No. But anyways, what I was saying before, thank you for that good laugh there, Vince. Yeah. What I was saying is that that's one thing that we found in the paranormal field, working, is when people find out what you do, they, you know, a lot of the times they're like, oh my gosh, really? And then they start telling you stories about stuff that they've had happen to you. And sometimes those are some of the best stories. About 2 years ago, I had gone out wearing one of my paranormal t-shirts. And I'd gone to the gas station, and the guy at the gas station was like, got ghosts? And I'm like, yeah, I'm a paranormal investigator. He goes, oh, that's really cool. And he started telling me the story. And like, I ended up giving him a business card, and, you know, he sent me a couple of emails about some of the experiences that he's had and he's known about. And, there's some amazing things that go on out there that, so many people seem like they're afraid to talk about, but, they really shouldn't be, because the world is becoming, in some ways, so much more open about discussing paranormal going on in your life.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm reading comments. I want to say hi to Brandy. She said hello.
Hi, Brandy.
I love it. And it says, just my ghost dog. Which is funny is because when I lived in Gregory, I had 2 dogs, and the one that was mine was Tasha, and she still shows up here every once in a while.
Yeah.
She followed me to Indiana, and she followed me to Kansas. And now here.
Yes. Every once in a while, there's this strange feeling, and it's like, I think his dog just jumped up on the bed again.
Yep, and she's learned the difference between my son being in here, the feeling she gets, and obviously the dog, and she knows when her friend is here.
Well, that's because Michael doesn't jump up and sit on the end of the bed.
No, and my dog weighed like 60 pounds. She's a big dog. Hey, she was Husky Shepherd and partially just a little bit wolf, and she wasn't the brightest animal ever, put on earth, but she was a good girl.
You have a lot of that in your life, You had Tasha, there was
Lance the cat.
Now we have our Callie bug.
Yeah. I like that. Brandy saying that her cat was staring at her ghost cat today, flicking its tail the whole time. As we've talked before, the one doll that's right about
behind my
there, that's sitting facing that way. That one is the one that we've talked about before. That's from the East Coast, Salem, Massachusetts. Came with a little girl who unfortunately passed away when she was very young.
Yes.
And every once in a while when she's around, our cats will just go to the edge of the stairs when we're upstairs and just stare down here.
Yeah.
It's fun though.
It is fun, and that's a blessing of have that doll being given to me, which actually was meant to be given to me for creation uses. But, the little girl spirit says she's fine with that. She's actually wouldn't mind it. But I said, you know what? You're going to stay home with us.
Yeah. She's fine with that too. But she would have been fine with it. She said, she's good with it.
But she's got a new dress and, a teddy bear, and, she gets to sit out the window. A friend of mine who's a medium, we were talking about her, and that's why she's now facing out the window, is because so she can see outside.
Yeah, that's my fault. I didn't get what she meant when she told me where she belonged the one time when I couldn't remember. But, I didn't pick up on the face her towards the window thing.
Well, I didn't have her facing towards the window, but, hey, you block your abilities a lot.
Yeah, I block a lot of it out now.
So, with that being said, it's once you start blocking it, that communication barrier is a little bit sometimes to get those messages correctly.
Yeah. Yes, she's eating gummy bears. Just what she needs before bedtime. Sugar. Okay, anyway, just on that quick subject, because you and Daniel talked about it on your show more than once, and you guys actually kind of broached the subject as an experiment, possibly, on one of our investigations about blocking abilities and doing things.
Ow.
And mine loosen up quite a bit when I've had 2-3 beers.
Yes, which was amusing when we were at an event recently, and you had 2 or 3 beers in a haunted location and started picking things up, and here I am giggling because
Yeah, well, I hate to quote a movie. Oh, I love quoting movies.
Yeah, I know.
All right, but when you see dead people, it's not always, sometimes you just want it to go away. Hey, hi Cheryl.
Oh. But with that, it's scary for a lot of people who have abilities,
Yeah.
and to be open about it and to learn from their abilities. And I think that's one great thing about how a lot of people can reach out and learn nowadays, is that they can learn that they're not alone. They don't have to be afraid.
And there's lots of great resources out there. There's a lot of great people out there.
Yes.
You don't have to go to the mainstream ones. Real quick, when I say hi to my niece Chantel, that's her up there. You saw that.
I saw that pop up.
But you don't have to go to the mainstream mediums that you see on TV and try to get answers. There's a lot of good ones out there. There's a lot of
or 1-900 psychics.
Yeah, don't go to them. And I'm talking about, when I say mainstream, I'm talking about the ones you see on TV. That because you're just going to get back basically a form letter, or their secretary is going to answer them, or they've got pat answers.
I know a few of them that are up there in the echelon that you are going to get honest answers and talk from, but how busy they are. There's so many other aspects that you can reach out to. Finding people who live in your area who do metaphysical research.
Right. Hey, hi Tim. Hopefully you're back at work tomorrow. Just type in yes, please, because I miss you at work.
Yes, and definitely, Tim. Hope you're feeling much better.
Yeah. But like I said, now this is something that Tim's probably going to hear for the first time, because he knows I do paranormal research, but he doesn't know I do medium work also.
Are you going to let that cat out of the bag at work?
I will let Tim know. I'd like Tim. I'd like a couple of the other people at work too, but but so I didn't have any guidance when I was a kid. Didn't have any guidance until 4 years ago, maybe 3-4 years ago, on some of it. Besides TV shows and documentaries, things like that. And, so, but there's a lot of us out there that will talk to you. You can contact us. You can email us. Our host, not our host, but our boss on the station.
Deb Johnson Drews.
Deb Johnson Drews. Thank you. I was reading at the same time.
Tim's giving you a whole bunch of question marks. So, Tim, just to come out and say it for him because he's skirting what he said, he can see dead people.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
And spirits and other things.
Yes. Hope you don't think I'm too nuts now. I already know you thought I was nuts, but this is, beyond the normal. But Deb Johnson Drews is one of the greatest people to talk to.
Yes, Deb is absolutely amazing.
And she will help you. She will talk to you. Just if you've even had some kind of experience and you're not sure if it is or isn't, the paranormal type, or if it's the medium type or the psychic part. So she will help you clarify that. And she's really good at that. Yeah. Did you just put a thumbs up to her too, Brandy? Yeah, way to out him. Yeah, because now I got friends in that listening to the show, because way back when I was on a show that Brandy used to do, none of my friends listened to it, so it was no big deal to talk about it.
You must be open. Whoa.
Yeah.
That was almost a catastrophe.
Yeah, no, it's pretty sturdy.
You must be open to sharing what your abilities are for them to continue to grow. You have to have that open mind to be able to do a lot of the research that paranormal researchers and investigators do, because you are always surprised.
Right, and that's one thing. During our investigations, which I want to get back to our experiment that Daniel and you talked about before here in a minute, but lost train of thought. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, including myself, mediums on the team. But we both know I never use any of that. Okay, 6 technically. Yeah, Vince already knew. Vince knew a long time ago, so does Sister Cheryl that's listening in on the show, too.
Technically, we have 7 and 3 learning.
Right, but I mean, I never use any of that during the investigation whatsoever. I might hear things, see things, etc., but I totally rely on what we may record. No, thank you. What we may get on, like I said, record on either digital recorder, on the DVR system, and what we hear over the electronic devices. That's what I'm going for. That's what I'm, because, we all have our own personal experiences, things we see, hear, smell, taste, whatever, because any of those can be part of an, investigation, or just if your house is possibly haunted, that you can actually, we've talked about before, cigarette smoke, cigar smoke, colognes, all of that can be a part of a haunting.
Yes, they can.
And no, I don't see any skeletons, Vince. Yeah, I'd almost called you by your name from junior high and high school.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He said I can still do that. Yeah, I follow the scientific side. Now, the event she was talking about that had a few beers at, Brandy, was the one at the Anchor Inn. So, had a few beers, and I know Brandy knows the place is very active most of the time, and they got some decent evidence that night and that. But I was just having fun with it because I don't let loose on having fun with it very often.
No, you don't, and you should let loose more often.
That's a whole nother subject for a whole nother show. On the why.
I know.
That's the one that I've been trying to figure out how to format. That one would have to be a longer show.
And I would probably have to well, here we go, because we're moving to Thursday nights. I don't let you have a nap, and I give you 2 beers before the show.
Yeah, that would work. Especially the strong ones. But anyway, the experiment Daniel would talk about, because one of the things as we talk about is actually people going into investigations drinking. And they're not talking about just mediums, they're talking about just in general.
Yeah. I've done many, many, many public investigations where, the public comes in, and sometimes, they'll go out to dinner before, and they'll have a couple of beers or something. And, they come in, and, it's a liability for the investigation. But, it's just, but what Daniel and I had talked about is one of our controlled investigations where, we're maybe at one of our retreats. Daniel was talking about trying it, of, having a little bit of adult beverage.
Yeah, and when you were talking about it on the show the other night, you looked right at Daniel and said, I'm staring at our guinea pig right now.
Yes, because that whole thing of you need to break that block of, I'm going to say it, that fear block that you slightly have.
Yeah, and all right, the only part we'll talk about right now tonight about that is because of the abilities I have, and we'll get into this, like I said, on a whole nother show, but the things I see and saw and experienced, we could say were almost nonstop, and would take over my sleeping times also. And I don't remember my dreams very often, but I do sometimes remember what happened while I was sleeping, which are different than dreams. So when we've talked about that before, you can be visited while you're dreaming, and you can leave your body when you're sleeping, etc. So when pretty much right before I came back to Michigan, I just kind of put a stop to a lot of it. So I've really got to I got to learn to loosen it back up.
Yes, you do.
And yeah, we'll leave it at that for right now.
Okay. You said a lot more than I expected you to say. So
Yeah. Just another thing we've talked about with mediums, because we seem to be on that subject now.
well, because it was open discussion, about the paranormal. We sometimes get stuck on one specific thing for a little bit, and hey, it's a good subject.
Yeah. We've talked about just not during with mediums, but for any kind of investigation, you want to take and get yourself protected.
Yes.
I'm not saying pack a gun because, hey, if it's a non-corporeal being, it's not going to do any good anyway.
No.
Holy water, Palo Santo, I think I pronounced that right.
Palo Santo.
There's a few other herbs.
Sage.
Sage, we use for smudging and house cleansing.
Yeah.
Brandy, I'm sure, could give us a whole list because she's actually quite well versed in all of that also.
But
and there's crystals.
Yep, there's crystals for protection as well. But there's also your own personal religious beliefs, like saying a prayer. Some people do say prayers before they, go into an investigation.
Right. And then another thing we've talked about also, well, I don't know if we've actually talked about it on the air. I know us and Deb and RJ have talked about it in group meetings we've had and different things, is you set up a personal barrier. Force shield is a good way of putting it. You picture a sphere around yourself of white light so nothing dark can get in to help.
So you use the force.
Right, you use the force is one way of putting it, and most people make it, just around themselves. And mine, just so I didn't have to put up with as much crap, mine was extremely large.
Yours is still extremely large.
Yeah, well, you don't want to see what's beyond it.
I don't see this stuff.
I know, but still.
You can just sometimes tell when it's around, but it's kind of hard to do some research projects when you're home, when your bubble's out.
Are you saying things don't get through?
Yes.
Okay. All right, it's a very large bubble. Goes about 100 yards in every direction. Up, down, left, right, in a circle. So, hey, what can I say? There's bad things out there.
But there are good things, too.
Yeah, there's a lot of good things out there. The little girl, she made it through. Good things can get through.
I know good things can get through. But sometimes things don't work.
Oh, you're talking about equipment?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why do you think a lot of times during investigations I walk away and I don't go on parts of things when you're using certain equipment?
Because you're a blocker. You need to tighten your bubble up. Tighten the bubble.
All right. We'll try that too on one of them. How's that sound? As an experiment.
Okay.
All right. We'll try that. Holy crap. We have got at least 7 people in the room tonight. This is awesome.
Yay! Mugwort, fennel, white sage, salt, most of Brandy's go-to items.
Yes. Salt. That was one I forgot. Rock salt is actually better than your processed
Table
salt.
salt.
Yeah.
With that, like hematite, black tourmaline, are a couple of other good stones, and a lot of stones actually have. You can research it on the web. There are great books out there as well for researching and seeing what is good for certain things. One thing is that I like to always tell people is go to a place like Deb and RJ's Mystical Awakenings Books and More in Prudenville outside of Houghton Lake, Michigan, and feel that rock. Hold that rock in your hand.
Yeah.
Smoky quartz, like Brandy says, is another really good one. Hold that rock in your hand because the smoky quartz might work for you and it has that good feeling. And, other people, it might be the hematite that they're drawn to for what they need. You can feel that energy in your hand.
Yeah, you want to know what mine is?
What?
It's going to sound silly, but sterling silver. I know. That's not a normal one.
Actually, no, it is. because the one protection bracelet I made years ago had Brandy, I know you're going to come up with the name if I'm going to say it. It's blue something that starts with a C for protection. It had that stone in it. It had onyx, and I had sterling. I had silver in there as well. And
Okay, well, we got more people than are showing up in the room.
that's because if they're not friends with us, we don't see it.
Okay, but
No,
there.
it wasn't blue calcite. Maybe it was blue calcite.
So I want to say hi to Heather and Terry also.
Yes, hi. But the silver is a protection thing, and that actually part of the silver stems from a lot of beliefs in, like, how do you kill a werewolf? A silver bullet.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, we all know I always wear, well, not everybody, but I wear a Superman one, but this is stainless steel. But when we're going into a place that, especially a residential investigation where people are having issues,
Yes.
and it might be dark. Like I said, I don't really follow the Catholic religion anymore, but what do I wear? I wear a St. Michael's medallion.
Yeah.
And it's got the St. Michael's prayer on the back of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I always say it before I go in.
Yeah. And and that's one of the things where, do you take your religious beliefs in on it? I know for a while, I actually would wear my silver Russian Orthodox cross on certain investigations.
Okay.
What? You just gave that look like, really?
Yeah. Just, hey. Like I said, but I still wear my Superman necklace. It's,
It's your Superman.
Yeah, that's questionable. Told you that has more to do with my outlook on life than it is on more than anything.
Yeah. Let's see. What was I gonna talk about?
Okay. Brandy threw out 2 more: aquamarine, blue agate.
Blue agate.
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 Yeah. I almost said aggregate because that's what we call stones in that construction field for backfill and things like that. Comes in different sizes of it, so stones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So just saying.
Just saying. And another thing is with protection and everything like that, because I just glanced over and saw a little sign that I have hanging up on the wall, which actually says your vibe attracts your tribe. Your vibe, your personal emotions also are a protection barrier. Positive thinking can do wonders for anyone. And it's very hard for people like me who do sometimes have depression to kind of get that positive outlook. But I found that having just that moment where to think positive does wonders.
Yes, it does.
And that's a lot of the times what we will tell clients is to think positively. Take back your space. It's yours. Let's say this is your home. Be positive about it. Because it's an amazing thing what that positive vibe can do. It raises your emotions. It raises everything, is to have that positive outlook.
Yeah. Real quick, hi to Sandy out there too.
Hi, Sandy.
And just so you know, Sandy, Mist already did plug that there were more kittens available, and there will be more soon.
Yes, I plugged it at the very beginning of the show.
Let's see. No, the positive outlook, the positive attitude is definitely a big part of it too. Vince made a joke in the chat room earlier on FB Live there that that the paranormal activity had. I know he won't be upset about it if I say it. I'm hoping that it was just shadow people. So it was nothing malicious, nothing, dangerous in our opinions. But he made the joke about they didn't pay rent, so he said no rent, they're out of here. Which is kind of funny, is because that's what we're basically talking about. Is what, if you don't want them in your house, tell them to leave.
Yeah.
Because they will leave. 99% of the time, it will leave.
Mm-hmm. And that's where I've talked about it so many times. The power of the human mind is so amazing. The human mind can create things, see things, do things beyond what we understand. The human mind should actually be considered paranormal on its own, just because of we understand so little of what it can do. And I'm talking about the mind, not the brain.
Right. And we had a whole discussion on that not long ago either.
Yeah. The difference between, the mind and the brain.
Actually, I thought we broached that subject last week real quick in there, because the scientist, maybe it was on your show, can't remember. But, I know we talked about it before, when scientists actually proved life after death.
Yes.
By catching energy leaving a person who had passed away on multiple accounts with, special cameras. So, and there's another one that had to do with not just mediums that can see auras and that, but where the energy focus is, which your brain has got the largest electrical impulses in the body. The strongest electrical impulses they can pick up, though, are in the center of your body.
Yeah, your heart region.
Right, but even though your heart's over here, it's still coming from the center of your body, in your brain.
Yeah, because, how long ago was it, this is your heart, this is your center. And spiritually, soul-wise, this is your center.
I'm reading Sandy's comment. Aren't you referring to the endless energy we possess? Yes.
Yes. We do possess an endless energy that does continue on after this human body ceases to function. And there's a lot of debate as to what happens to that energy after, it ceases to, animate the body.
Right. And we've talked about it before, and I've said on here before that, actually we've talked about it, and you even said it. If you're of the mindset that there's a heaven and a hell, that you go to heaven. And that's where my belief and your belief is that you create your own heaven.
Yes.
You don't create heaven, but you create your own heaven. And it is like what you want it to be. It's what you expect.
Think what dreams may come.
Yeah, the movie of What Dreams May Come. When I first saw that, I was like, oh my God, somebody's got it, in my opinion, right.
Yes. And it's so amazing how many people, you talk to about that movie, What Dreams May Come, that, still say, how many points were correct on that.
That's to Vince. Hi, Ruben.
Just because of so many of the aspects of it. And the one thing that I like about that is my belief with the time stream experiments and research. That is that once you pass from this body, you actually go to another dimension, which is a planet then in that other dimension that's called Marduk. And it's a river world. The planet is thousands and thousands of rivers circumventing this world. And within it are different civilizations living. There's choices being made as to how your home looks and, how you look and where you're at and what you do. And the choices of, if you want to come back and live another life in a body. And it's not just human beings. There's other beings that go to this realm. And as you move up your personal knowledge, your soul knowledge, you grow more and more with your knowledge, you less and less and less want to come back to learn those new lessons. And eventually you become a higher being yourself.
Yeah.
And then actually some of the research with the time stream, with some of the people they've spoken to on the other side, and there's a point where you get to join with the one. You go back to the one.
Are we basically talking a higher collective consciousness then?
Yeah.
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 So we won't get into the whole how the universe was created thing, no.
No.
Because that one,
I'm out of gummy bears.
I'm sorry. No, you're not. There are more in your bag.
It makes too much noise. Oh, there they go. My headset just cut out for a second.
Okay.
I'm going to make a lot of noise. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Oh, that's loud. It's almost as loud as when it gets to 90 seconds. Which, don't worry, we are still 17 minutes away from. And just next week, I'm hoping to have sound deadeners for the mics.
Yes.
It will stop picking up as much background noise. Excuse me, like that. Yeah, Brandy's like gummy bears. I know. She's got her gummy bears, and I have no Reese's peanut butter cups. But somewhere back behind the computers, unfortunately, are my M&Ms. Yeah, I don't know where I left them, but they're back there somewhere. But anyway,
They're not behind the computers. They're right there.
Oh crap, I left them way over there. I would have to move the mic and stand up. Not happening.
And I'm stuck because I would have to move a chair and trip over the camera.
Yeah, and then, it would just be all over the place and it'd be bad. But what was I going to say? You're talking about, becoming with the one. And, a lot of religions, that's once again, like we said, yeah, no gummy ghost. Just little girls, pets, friends that have passed away, relatives.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so it's like a house full of people. It's like the Brady Bunch, and there's only 3 of us that live here besides the cats.
And 3 of us living that live here.
Yeah, that's true. But yes, I do have a beer, and the sad thing about that beer is I've been drinking it since about 5:30.
No, I was a good girl today and got dinner done by 4:40. So you've been drinking that beer since like 4:40.
Okay, so you can tell I drank a lot at one time here, can't you? But anyway, just personal experiences, with the other realms is, like I said, traveled to them. I believe, and I've had other people back me up on this in the field, that I have probably gone there, seen things, had an associate, don't know if I'd actually call him a friend, haven't been able to get a hold of him in a while.
What? Nothing. I wasn't paying any attention to anything.
No.
I'm just going to eat my gummy bear and stay quiet.
Who backed it up, and there was another person that I was talking to Deb about some experiences I had a long time ago when I first started communicating with her, and she had me get in contact with someone who had been having nightmares about things, and because her first words were, "This sounds familiar. You need to talk to this gentleman because he seems to be living through the same thing." Oh, I love the fact that you do that, and then I get to watch it all over again on that monitor. See, hey, I'm still good. I've only got us to 3, not 4 or 5 monitors yet, just because I haven't gotten the thing that attaches and has 2 monitors only up there.
Yeah, well, that's also because we have to figure out a better table
Yeah,
here.
for this.
for that. And then I can see him being like, the monitor I use on Paranormal X be coming into it, the TV coming into it,
Well, yeah.
2 laptops, the all-in-one computer.
Well, see, the all-in-one computer could stay over there and just be used as our, Facebook Live computer. Because I can project that screen anywhere because I've got the HDMI hookup to plug it into other stuff too.
Anybody guess who handles all the tech for us?
Yeah. Hey, I've only made one mistake in here once, and that's when it didn't record the show to Blog Talk. That's because somebody forgot to pushed one too many buttons on the mixer board.
Wasn't me. It was not me.
Well, it was when I was trying to figure something out.
I kept complaining I was getting too much background noise.
Yep, and I got rid of the background noise.
Yeah, you did. But we didn't record a show either.
Yeah. And I tried to upload it to be as a pre-recorded show, and it never took. Don't know why, because they even converted it to MP3 and everything else, but hey. But anyway.
Anyways, anywhoots. So just in case anybody tuned in late in the show, we're going to go ahead and say it again.
Yeah.
We will not be on the air next Sunday because we are moving to Thursday nights at 7 p.m.
Right. And the reason for that is the final weekly show of Paranormal X is going to be this coming Thursday.
Yes.
So I hope everybody joins in to listen to that. They're going to be going over what's kind of they've done for over the last 2 years on the air.
And kind of talk about some of what we're going to do with the new show being monthly. The new show will be 2 hours and go into a couple of other things a little bit more in depth and gives Daniel a little bit more time for research and, thinking about things.
Yeah. So it's going to be a good format. Like we said, Daniel's schedule's been very hectic. Between he and Stephanie, they have 3 kids at the house. Well, one's an adult, but
they have 4 kids then,
okay.
If you count correct.
Okay, I was actually counting Daniel, but
then it would be 5.
Okay. So they're parents, so they've got a lot of stuff. Yeah, same time on Thursday, 7 p.m.
Yep, 7 p.m. on Thursdays. I will have all the new banners and everything out this week. I'm going to be spending time on that this week, taking a break from the Doll Factory.
Yeah, which for some reason, did the camera move or does it seem like we're a little more tilted that way? Just saying.
No, I can still see the same amount of the edge of the litter boxes earlier.
Okay, but see, you must have scooted when you got the gummy bears because now I can see the doll head. Yeah, see, you're not blocking it like you were earlier. Something moved. The camera moved or you're slouched.
I might have been sitting closer to the edge of the couch.
Okay, I thought we took that off your computer.
It's still popping up. I need you to take care of it.
Okay, do that tomorrow after work. We'll do that. Oh yeah, hey, that's it. Just totally off subject.
And I'm the one who squirrels?
I know. Finally, our router was only working with plug-in connections. We're having huge problems with it connecting to anything.
Except for my laptop.
Right. Her laptop was the only one that would connect to the Wi-Fi in the house. Amazon, what are those called? What are your tablets called? Amazon?
Kindles.
Kindles. Kindles, my Android tablet, my laptop. Our phones were dropping the internet signal. So broke down and bought the AC wireless router, which works on both the AC and the N band at the same time. Which I'm not using it right now, but I do have it hooked up to mine. And it actually, I have to say, they work as the exact same speed as it does with the plug-in connection. And we got to get that hooked up on yours, the adapter for yours. And I got to hook up the printer we got to hook up into that. So
yes, because I got a fancy new printer.
Yeah, because somebody needs to make business cards.
Yeah.
And price labels.
Yeah. I don't know who you're talking to, though. I'm hiding behind my microphone.
Yeah, I see that. See, I've reset mine so I don't have to keep leaning forward like normal. And Sandy said it was totally the camera moved. So I didn't see it move.
Oh, we'll have to look back at that. Maybe
Okay, because I know it's higher than it was. Because I moved it up a little bit before the show started. But not that far where I can see over you, which is weird. Yeah, and you don't ever sit up like that.
no, I don't.
All right, down to just under 10 minutes now.
Woo!
What do you mean, woohoo? I've been having a good time tonight.
It's so woo! You just don't want it to be the end of Sunday because you have to go back to work at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, and I know if Tim's still listening, he is thinking the same thing. Oh, crap. I got to be to work at what time tomorrow? And as I'm lighting a cigarette, Tim said I have to find a new smoking buddy. That's true.
Or, we all could just quit.
Yeah, we could. But it's hard in a house that one of the people here upstairs smokes like the chain smoker most of the time.
Well, she's supposed to quit too.
Yeah. But just so he knows, Roger has been outside smoking with me instead of you, so it's okay. It's cool. I'll live without you out there. Your health is more important than being out there with me smoking, Tim.
Yes. Tim's health is definitely more important than having a smoking buddy.
Yeah.
But this is, we're just going to get it out there right now. Do not forget to listen to all the other great shows we have here on the Mystical Awakenings Radio Network. There's Chambers of the Paranormal, hosted by Paul Chamberlain and co-hosted by me, myself, and I, because sometimes I'm like great co-hosts. Hey.
That was in answer to Brandy's question.
Oh, 1, 2. Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
I'm on my 5th one, Brandy.
We tend to smoke a little bit more during the radio show.
Yeah.
Okay, now I remember where I was
Okay.
at. Sacred Journeys, hosted by Beth and Barry Gilmer. Mystical Awakenings, hosted by Deb Johnson DeRoos and RJ DeRoos Johnson. Paranormal X, the X-Files, hosted by me, myself, and I, and Daniel Mackin. And then on Saturday nights, Veil of the Moon, hosted by Moonstone Wolf. And coming soon, we do have another show starting up. It'll be a once a month, sharing the Monday night time slots once a month with Daniel and I once the switch is on. And that will get to hopefully announce a date soon on when they're going to be starting.
Yep. And that leaves 2 open nights.
Yes.
It's going to leave Sunday night.
And Friday night.
And Friday night's open. Right now it's only Friday, and Monday, but now it's going to be Sunday and Monday. Or Sunday and Friday.
Sunday and Friday. Well, we like to kind of change things up on the network every once in a while anyways.
Yeah, I was going to say something else.
What did you forget? And do not forget to stop in at Mystical Awakenings Books and More. And
Plug.
In Prudenville, Michigan, and visit Deb and RJ DeRoos, Johnson DeRoos. And don't forget to pick up their new book that just came out.
As she's looking it up.
Because I forgot the name of it. I'm a bad person. I forgot the name of the book.
Anybody who's listening who doesn't follow the page, feel free to follow the page, like it.
Got it.
You get notifications. You get invited every week to the show. Commercial break.
Yes. Anyways, it's called Worlds Beyond Death, Examining Alternative Realms of Existence by Deb and RJ DeRoos, written with Michael Cassett, which would be RJ's brother, who is the Michael Cassett of the Michael Cassett numerology system.
And who used to be on a soap opera.
Yes.
Many years ago.
Many moons
Look,
ago.
we know famous people.
I don't know.
Well, we do.
Yeah. We know Deb. She's famous.
Yeah.
We love Deb.
Yeah. But like we've said on the show before, I mean, we're not going to throw out names, but you've known them longer than I have. We've met. Since I've been, going to the conventions, that I have met numerous television stars, from the paranormal shows.
And you know what? Just like
they are like
they're people.
Yeah, they're people.
They put their pants on the same way as the rest of us.
Yeah.
One leg at a time, one sock at a time.
And they don't have egos.
No. So many of them are such amazing, great people. They're good people.
Yeah, they are. It's like you're going. I know. Here we'll just use Andrea Perrin for an example. The little girl that was Annie from the movie
The Conjuring.
The Conjuring, which she's got books on out that tell the real story. Daniel was deathly afraid to meet her.
Yes.
He was like, "Oh my God, she scares me. She's such a strong woman. She's, all this other stuff." And she's probably one of the most good-hearted, loving people you've ever met in your life.
Yes.
And she's a riot to be around.
Yes. So, it's just an amazing field to be able to get to sit and talk with so many others who have so much other experience than us.
Just back to one of the things we talked about earlier in the show is, reaching out for help. If you do feel that you have abilities or have had an experience like that, the conventions are a great place to go because they all have tables set up. They're not just selling their books and that. They love conversation. They love talking to you about this stuff. They sell their books on Amazon and on their own websites, etc. So they're not there to make money off of selling their books, but they have to have something,
They're there to meet people.
They're there to meet people.
And
they have their tables, so they will give you advice. And I've talked to other people in the field that said, I got my start. Wasn't it Tim Miley that during his one presentation that said, wow, this is something I would be interested in, and he sat down with someone at a convention.
He had actually started because he couldn't get a hold of any of the local teams. Like, he couldn't get responses back. So he started doing the research and the work himself. And then after a couple of years, actually met somebody who, kind of took him under their wing at a convention.
Right. And he said he actually ended up sitting there talking to him for a couple of hours.
Yes.
Well, there's other people in there too. And, people, he didn't ignore the people at his table. But I mean, this is what we're saying is that you can talk to them. They will help you. They will explain things to the best of their knowledge. We've said this before, and every one of them will tell you. Anywhere from us who are, professionals and nobody's in the, no names in the field, to the ones who you see on TV and that, they want to help you. They will, and they will say there are no experts in the field. There is no definitive answers yet on anything, but from what research has shown at this time, so it's a good thing to get into if you got any questions. Is go to a convention. It doesn't have to be an expensive one, because there's ones that cost $30 to get into, $20 to get into, to ones that are hundreds of dollars to get into.
And speaking of that, I just had it.
Which one?
The weekend of June 29th and 30th. Grasp Paranormal.
90 seconds.
Yep, there that goes.
Grasp Paranormal down in Grand Haven is having a paranormal event. And it's not like a lot of the other paranormal conventions. They're having workshops, and it gives you the chance to kind of meet and mingle a little bit more and learn a little bit more. So look that up. It's Grasp,
G-R-A-P-S or G-R-A-S-P.
There's two P's.
Okay.
Grasp with two P's.
60 seconds.
Come to the event. All of NAPIT's going to be there.
Yep, we're all going to be there. I'm hoping to see Kelly there. Maybe not at the convention, but hook up with Kelly for a few minutes. Go see my mom because she only goes a few miles south of that. So.
And Todd Clements and Amber Rose Hammond and Bill Konkoleski will be speaking there.
Yeah, so some good names. Daniel will be speaking there too and doing a workshop.
Yes.
So. All right, as you heard, we're under 60 seconds. Thank you, everybody, for listening in tonight. I appreciate all the new people that popped into the room tonight.
Yes.
Like I said, so we can see you when you pop in. Just like the page, if you don't mind. You don't have to get all our notifications, but you will get the show times and what the subject is every week. So.
Yep. So thank you everybody for
10
listening. We will see
seconds.
you in 2 weeks when we start up on Thursdays. Have a great night, everybody.
All right, good night.
Yay!
We are still on the air
I know
until
we're still on the
now.
air.
Now we're off.